Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, I'm Michelle Hamer, your Program Advisor for James Madison University's Six Sigma, Green, and Black Belt programs. I've been working in higher ed for about 7 years as both an instructor and in admissions and program advisement for professional and graduate education. I've spoken with many of you during the past couple of weeks, and it's really great to see you here online. I want to let you know that we really appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us for this informational webinar. Our Six Sigma programs are offered through James Madison University's Outreach and Engagement Department located in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley, and we are committed to serving the citizens of the Virginia area with quality education. As a student in our Six Sigma program, you will be immersed in an in-depth, interactive learning experience that supports your learning by helping you apply new skills to real-world case studies. Our online training includes modules you will complete at your own pace, as well as scheduled live online sessions led by a Six Sigma Master Black Belt instructor with over 10 years experience in the field. The online platform will allow you to view lectures, simulations, and assessments that gauge your successful progress throughout the certificate program. This is a unique program developed specifically for the busy adult professional. So let's get started. I'd like to introduce you to our presenter this afternoon and our program director, Jennifer John.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for that great introduction and overview. I'd also like to welcome everybody. We've got quite a few attendees on the webinar with us this afternoon, and appreciate your time that you're going to be spending with us over the next, I'd say about 40 to 45 minutes. Before we get started, though, I would like everybody just to ensure that you can hear us. The audio is coming through loud and clear. You'll notice a small hand icon next to your name. Can you go ahead and click on that hand icon, which will indicate to myself and Michelle that the audio is coming through? Oh, fantastic. I see hands going up everywhere. The other area that I'd like to point out to you is that we have a question section. You can go ahead and use that section as I'm going through my presentation for any questions that you might have. Michelle will be happy to answer as many as possible during our session, but then we'll probably keep the last 2 to 3 minutes for any remaining questions. And then, of course, at the end, we'll have some follow-up information about what to expect after the webinar is over. So just from a practice standpoint, could everybody go ahead and type into the question box how you heard about James Madison University's Six Sigma program? And I'll let everybody go ahead and type their answers in. And that'll give us some good information as far as who's in our audience today. What you see on the screen right now is the agenda. This is going to give you a quick overview of what to expect during the next 40 minutes. I'm going to be talking about some of what we consider to be the main benefits of our program. And then for those of you that may not have a background in Six Sigma, I do have several slides on what Six Sigma is and the background as far as the historical perspective and how Six Sigma is utilized, the actual process that is used to incorporate Six Sigma into the workplace. I have some slides on both our Lean Six Sigma Green and Black Belt programs as far as the length of the programs, and then some information about what we do to ensure that we hire excellent instructors teaching in the program. At that point, I'm going to turn the webinar back over to Michelle, and she's going to talk to everybody about some payment options that are available for you, and then also how you can enroll. And again, we'll leave the last couple of minutes open for any remaining questions that we might have. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we think that the James Madison program is highly effective. We utilize a blended learning approach for both our Green and Black Belt programs, and we really consider this to be the best of online classroom and online training to help you learn more effectively. Next, it's flexible. Our online format allows you to participate from the convenience of your home or office, we schedule those required instructor sessions during evening hours, so that way you can maintain your busy professional work schedule. When we first started the program, we actually had them scheduled during the daytime, and we found that the majority of our prospective students, they just weren't able to devote the amount of time during the day. So now we make it very flexible for you so that you can attend those online required sessions in the evening. And it's personalized. A portion of the Six Sigma Black Belt classes, those are going to be spent developing a full-scale, independent project, and that can be based on either your own organization's specific challenges, or if you don't currently work in a green or black belt environment at your company, you can simply use the case scenarios that we have incorporated right into our curriculum. So next, what is Six Sigma? Of course, what you see right now is the symbol for Six Sigma. So it's both a measurement system or a symbol for variation, but it's also a management methodology for achieving what we consider to be world-class quality. The screenshot that you see here is, of course, a quote from Jack Welch, who's the retired chairman and CEO of General Electric. What Jack states is, at its heart, Six Sigma is about understanding what your customers want and then developing a game plan to deliver it. Six Sigma is really a smarter way to manage, putting the customers first and then using facts and data to drive better solutions. Companies that can consistently apply these methods and tools are much better prepared to use change as a core competency of their operations. Six Sigma efforts target a variety of critical business objectives, such as improving customer satisfaction, accelerating process cycles and then time to market, reducing defects, and those can be defects in a manufacturing operation or a customer service standpoint, reducing defects in the amount of duplication in the paper that you're processing, examples from a financial standpoint, if you work for a financial company, being able to reduce the defects in the number of reports that are given out to clients, and also very many areas that can apply to healthcare. So Six Sigma is not only around manufacturing, but is very prevalent in all types of customer service fields. So improvements in these areas usually represent what we consider to be dramatic financial benefits to businesses, as well as key opportunities to retain your customers, capture new markets, and then, of course, build a reputation for top-performing products and services. Management training is a critical element of a successful Six Sigma deployment, so learning how to successfully integrate the Six Sigma approach into organization systems allows the top leaders and functional managers to take ownership of the deployment and successfully align it with the organization's objectives. Both our green and black belt programs prepare managers to create manufacturing, service, and administrative processes that produce a high rate of sustained improvement in both defect reduction as well as cycle time. Now, as a measurement system, Six Sigma itself is really a way to reduce the number of defects in any of your operations. So you'll see from this particular slide, companies that are operating at the 2 Sigma level, that's going to equate to 308,539 defects per million opportunities. But once a company takes their operations up to the Six Sigma level, that equates to only 3.4 defects per million opportunities. So applying Six Sigma at the organizational level leads companies to measure how many defects are in a process and then systematically determine how to eliminate those defects in the process or product to get as close to zero defects as possible. Now, as far as Six Sigma from a measurements standpoint, it originated back in the mid-'80s at Motorola to dramatically improve work processes by eliminating defects. The history, though, of quality improvement and process control, that began as early as the 1920s. Much of the preliminary work was done at Western Electric, the manufacturing arm of AT&T that produced telephone hardware. I'd say from about 1918 until the 1950s, there were three important figures that emerged in quality improvement. That was Walter Sheward, Dr. Edwards Deming, and Dr. Joseph Duran, each of which made sizable contributions to the role of quality in business. Now, after a Japanese company purchased one of Motorola's failing TV manufacturing facilities, they made significant changes to management and operations processes. The factory was soon producing TV sets with dramatically fewer defects than Motorola had ever experienced. So in response to this reduction, Motorola's then CEO, Bob Galvin, he challenged his company to achieve a 10-fold improvement in performance over a 5-year period. This quantum leap in quality improvement required a radically different approach, and they implemented statistical process control theory and began measuring quality in terms of unheard of defects per million opportunities, or DPMO. Motorola equated Six Sigma with only 3.4 DPMO, or achieving 99.9997% reliability. So Six Sigma is simply a way to measure quality with the end goal of near total perfection. Employees who are Six Sigma certified, they're huge assets to the company because they can help their organization in reducing expenses and then further deliver customer satisfaction, which of course translates into loyalty. This is the main reason why many companies are hiring individuals who are Six Sigma certified. Now next, I wanted to share with you some companies that everybody's familiar with. Each of these companies is operating at that Six Sigma level. First, AT&T, and of course that equates with the reliability of getting a dial tone every time. Next, FedEx. Of course, your package will be delivered by 10 a.m. guaranteed. And then McDonald's and Coca-Cola. Whether it's California or Virginia, it's still a Big Mac or the Coke is going to taste the same every time, everywhere. So many companies and organizations that begin implementing Six Sigma quality level will be able to enhance their brand because customers know they can depend on whatever their services are that they're providing to their clients. So let me give you a quick overview of how this whole Six Sigma process works. It follows a very, very project-focused approach, and it uses data and statistical tools to systematically improve all the processes for sustainability. So it follows the DMAIC process that you see in front of you, which stands for define, measure, analyze, improve, and then control. So let me give you just a quick high-level overview of each one of these phases in the DMAIC process. First, of course, we start with the define phase. Here, the most basic question that should be answered is, what are we trying to improve and by how much? Critical customer requirements are defined, a project charter is developed, and then a schedule of milestones following the entire DMAIC process is developed. I'd say this stage is probably the most critical because projects that aren't thoroughly defined often result in wasted time and capital. I'm sure a lot of my attendees today can think back on a time when they were involved in a high-level project within their own organization. And if that project wasn't thoroughly defined to begin with, there's always going to be wasted time and capital because aspects of the project would have to be redone. So defining the opportunity and working through the project charter is considered to be one of the most critical phases. Once we define the opportunity, we move into the measure phase. Here, we're going to measure any of the historical data that the organization has. So we gather that data and measure it against the current performance of the process. The results of this data measurement typically include a histogram, a control chart, and then process capability. After we measure all of the historical data against our current performance, then we move into the analysis phase. What we're doing here is trying to identify key root causes and then any process detriments. In other words, determining which factors are significant. Several tools that we use include Pareto analysis, cause and effect diagrams, and failure mode and effect analysis. Most of these analytics are performed using basic formulas in Excel spreadsheets. We also, in the Black Belt program, move into software that can also be utilized. There's a lot of different types of software out there. Some of the very large Fortune 500 companies have their own proprietary software. There's also software called Minitab. Another one is called QI Macro. And, of course, a lot of very advanced Excel add-ins, but we utilize everything from basic calculators to Excel spreadsheets and software depending on which program you're involved in, the green or black belt. So after we analyze all of our processes, we then move into the improve phase. Here the primary purpose is to reduce variability or eliminate the cause. During this phase, the team generally brainstorms, listens and evaluates many improvement ideas. Some of the techniques that we use during this stage include criteria such as the effectiveness of solution, ROI, or what's the return on our investment, time to implement, and then customer satisfaction. And then last, we move into our control phase. So once all of the new processes are in place, the entire goal shifts to monitoring the processes to make sure high quality levels are maintained. So we look to lock in those gains and adjust new processes. And that's accomplished through statistical process control, continuous improvement, and then control plans. But at the core of the entire DMAIC process is to focus on achieving data-driven, customer-focused improvements, which will result in significant cost savings or a return on investment for the entire organization. So that's a good overview of some of the basic tools and the processes that are used in Six Sigma Green and Black Belt training. But next, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about why we think you should earn your Six Sigma certificate at James Madison University. First of all, it's important for everybody to understand that for Six Sigma itself, there isn't any type of national certifying body or regulating body that oversees the certification. For those of you that are familiar with project management, there is the Project Management Institute, or PMI, which is the really the global certifying body for any project management certification. So because Six Sigma does not have a global or national certifying body, it really makes the reputation of the program that you're certified by that much more important. As we all know, the name and reputation of JMU is well known not only just in Virginia, but all over the country. We've been recognized as one of the top universities. According to the Kiplinger's February 2012 report, JMU was ranked number 28 of best values in schools that deliver a stellar education at an affordable price. So having a certificate from JMU would be a huge resume and also career booster for you. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about why a JMU education is different and why what I consider to be different from other Six Sigma programs that are out there. First of all, our program is uniquely offered in a 100% online format with self-paced modules, but more importantly, those are coupled with live instructor-led training. All of the other online programs are just self-paced without that live instructor-led interaction. And I'll go into, in the next couple of slides, what I mean about that live instructor-led training. We really thought it was critical to include this live training with your instructor so that you can meet online for the important interaction, both with the instructor but also with your classmates. In addition, our instructors have a combined 20 years of experience training students. Also, it's important to us that you succeed in your learning experience here at JMU. That's why we provide continued support throughout the Six Sigma training. First of all, students have access to technical and instructional assistance through the program, as well as phone and email support, not only from our dedicated program staff, but also from your instructor. We're available to answer technical questions regarding website access, and then provide instructional support for any assignments or materials that you have. In addition, our thorough orientation is emailed out to each student prior to the first day of class. That orientation typically goes out a week before the program starts so that our students are able to access the online portals ahead of time and get comfortable with what is expected of them before the classes begin. Next, I wanted to share just a quick overview of the return on investment for you if you complete a green or black belt program. What you see in front of you right now, this is average salaries for individuals that do obtain their black belt. It comes directly from the Six Sigma Global Salary Survey report, and you'll notice that Six Sigma began collecting black belt salary data back in 2004, and this is through the report for 2012. You'll notice that there's an increase in salaries, a little bit of a major increase in 2008 up to 80,000, and then by 2012 this is average salaries for black belts across the country, $83,107. So you can certainly see how your investment in a green and black belt education is going to equate to a very substantial increase depending on your current position from a salary standpoint as well. And of course, from a comparison standpoint, I've got several shots as far as the tuition for both of our programs, and that will give you a very good comparison. All right, well, let me talk a little bit about the online training. As I mentioned, we've got two components, both the online training. Now, these are self-paced modules that really prepare all of our students for the instructor-led training. The self-paced modules are going to give individuals that may not have a background in statistics a good overview, and it really helps everybody to be on the same learning or knowledge level when they go into the classroom training. So during the orientation, we send the access information out to our e-learning portal. Our students are simply going to set up their new registration key, and then they set up their username and password. Of course, it's a 24/7 portal that students can access. Once you get into the portal, everything is very intuitive. There are modules that very, very closely follow that DMAIC process. What you can see here under the modules is the define and measure phase. But at the very top, we have an overview for student instructions, some of the quality tools that are online, which is really a dictionary of Six Sigma terminology. And then we start off with an introduction, and then we go into an overview of lean principles, voice of the customer, managing the project, and teamwork, and then SIPOC and 8 wastes. Those are the modules incorporated in define, and then of course we move into the measure. There's also a pre and post test for those of you that want to self-gauge your learning before you complete the module and then after. But I do want to share everything in the online content. None of that is graded or goes into your final grade for the program. That information comes directly from the instructor-led training. But again, this is a really good resource for students to use to get comfortable with some of the Six Sigma terminology. What you see now, I've opened up the statistics module. There's audio and of course some video that plays with it. Any of the content that you're hearing is also the same text that you see on the right side of the screen. You'll notice at the very bottom there are buttons for you if you want to replay the module. There's a next button if you'd like to move on, and then an exit button if you'd like to exit that particular module. When you come back into it, it's going to open up at the exact spot that you dropped off. And also you'll see page 1 of 69, so you know how many pages are in the module. In addition to that, each module also has clearly defined learning objectives so that you know what to expect in each module. And then in addition there, not only do they give you the number of pages in each module, but an estimate of the amount of time it's going to take to complete each module. In this example for statistics, it's 35 minutes to complete it. And then as far as our instructor training, students do meet in a web conferencing system. We do use the system that you're in right now. It is called GoToMeeting. The main difference, though, is you only have audio capabilities and you're able to type in the question box. With the actual GoToMeeting sessions with your instructor, in the very beginning, our students and the instructor can turn on their webcams so everybody has a visual of the faces and what each individual looks like. You also have audio capabilities, so through a headset or your computer, microphone, and speaker, you can talk directly to your instructor as well. But it's a very intuitive system. Along with the PowerPoint that I'm showing you right now, the instructor can pull up anything from their desktop. So as an example, they can go to a website if there's something of relevance they would like to show you. They can go into any of the online modules. So anything that they have accessible, you're able to view. They can also change the presenter over. So they have the capability of changing the presenter over to one of the students so that a student can actually show the work from say, perhaps a statistics module where everybody's working on a particular concept, and then the student's able to show their work and share it with their class. So again, very, very intuitive system. And of course, our class sessions are conveniently scheduled in the evening. In a few slides, I will show you the amount of time for these required instructor sessions for both the green and black belt. All right. The program dates that we have coming up. Our green belt program is a 4-week program. The next offering is going to be August 5th. So it begins August 5th and ends on August 30th. And then for those of you that are interested in taking our green belt and then going directly into the black belt, that program, which is a 2-month program, begins on September 9th and ends on November 1st. So for those of you that are interested in taking both belts, you're able to complete that by probably I would say the middle of November, simply from the standpoint of when you complete your project work and also the final examination for the black belt program. And for those of you that may not be ready to commit to the August format, just to let you know, we do schedule at least 3 green belt programs every year and then at least 2 black belt programs every year. So what you're seeing right now are the green and black belt programs. We do have another fall green belt that's going to be scheduled November 11th through December 6th, and that green belt will actually close out 2013, and of course we'll have a full schedule in 2014. Now these classes do fill up very quickly, so if any of you are interested in registering, make sure that you get everything in as far as payments, that type of thing. I'd say at least a minimum of 2 weeks before the classes start. All right, next I've got an overview of, this is our green belt program that begins on August 5th, but it's a very similar format for any of our green belt programs. So we email out an orientation document, which Michelle takes care of, and in that thorough orientation, she sends out all the access for the online portals. During week 1, students are completing their first set of self-paced modules, and that would be the week of August 5th. We've had students in the past that completed all of their online modules before week 2, which is the beginning of the online class, but we recommend at least 50% of the modules during the first week. Then students, week 2, have their first series of online classes. Those are going to meet Monday through Friday, August 12th through the 16th, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And then week 3 would be the last series, or the last 50% of the online modules. And then the last week, which is August 26th through the 30th, again, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8:30, would be the final week of the online required instructor sessions. Now, we understand that there are going to be instances where you may have a project come up at work. Perhaps there's an illness in the family, either yourself or one of your children or perhaps your spouse. Become sick or any kind of emergency. We understand you might miss a class. If you find out you're going to miss a class, what we recommend is letting the instructors know. They typically schedule a minimum of one makeup session with the students, so we do have that in place for anyone that feels that they're going, that needs either additional time or have an emergency that comes up. So the instructor is more than willing to work with students to reschedule another makeup class. And then the very last week, it's after August 30th, we give our students a full week to go into the online learning management portal to take their final examination. That exam is opened after the last class the next morning at 8 a.m. and again, you have a full week to log in. Those exams are timed, and students for the Greenbelt program, we give our students 3 hours to complete their final exam, and the next 4-hour Black Belt program, which you see, we give our students for the final exam in the Black Belt 4 hours to complete it. I found in the past most students complete the Green Belt exam in about 1.5 hours to 2, and then for the Black Belt exam, I'd say about 2 hours to maybe 2.5 hours, but certainly plenty of time to complete both of those final exams. Before I go through the overview for the Black Belt program, I do want to mention we get a lot of questions from students that may have been out of school for a while or concerned about completing their exams. In the very unlikely event that you do not pass the first attempt, we have a couple different options for you. You're able to retake a different exam at absolutely no charge, or if you've missed a lot of classes and feel that we make a collective decision that it would be better if you attend the class again, you're able to join the next class and go through the program again and complete your final examination with a second attempt, again, at no additional charge. So we haven't had any instances where we don't have any graduates, so we do have a 100% graduation rate, but a handful of individuals for a variety of reasons that did need to either retake a final exam or just retake the entire course. Now with our Black Belt program, a very similar format. The main difference is everything is spread out over 2-week increments. So the program begins September 9th and ends November 1st, and you'll notice that classes go again in 2-week increments. So weeks 1 and 2 are your first series of self-paced modules, and then weeks 3 and 4 you have your online classes. So it's 2 weeks. The big difference between the Green and Black Belt is the classes only meet Monday through Thursday, not Monday through Friday, but Monday through Thursday, and those run from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Then we move into weeks 4, 5, and 6, where again you're working on self-paced modules and also some of the completion work for your project in the Black Belt. And then the last 2 weeks, weeks 7 and 8, are the final series of online classes, again Monday through Thursday, 6:30 through 9 p.m. We also give our students additional time if they need for their project completion, and then of course the final exam is available for 1 week after the last class date. All right, as far as our instructors, we have a very thorough process in place. As far as the selection criteria, first of all, we're looking for individuals who have subject matter expertise. All of our instructors are experienced Six Sigma trainers, and they, during the actual application process, once they submit their resume and I've determined that they do have the expertise and they have a background in teaching, what I do is set up, after the interview, a test teach, and that's when the instructor actually has to perform, it's a 45-minute test teach And we're looking at a couple of different things. Are they engaging? Are they able to keep the interest of the students? Do they have very good classroom demeanor? And then based on the results of those test teachers, we've hired our instructors. In addition to that very extensive process as far as hiring our instructors, each of our students are given an opportunity, and we strongly encourage students to evaluate the instructors and provide us with feedback. We take those student evaluations very seriously, and we make future hiring decisions based on our student feedback as well. What you see now are some of the quotes that we've received from previous students as far as our instructors in the program. I'll let you go ahead and read through those, but I'll just go ahead with the last one. I thoroughly enjoyed the class and mastering the challenge of completing the coursework or the class and working at my job at the same time. I can share that on past student evaluations, it's a 1 to 7 scale, and all of our instructors have at least a 6.5 or higher. So if you decide to register for our program, you'll be in fantastic hands with the instructors that we have. All right, as far as our graduation requirements, we do want you to complete all of the required online modules and then attend all of the online class sessions. You do need to score a minimum of a 70% or above on the certification exam in the green belt or the black belt, but also our black belt students will also be completing a Six Sigma black belt project. So as far as the program costs, our Greenbelt tuition is only $2,995, and then our Black Belt tuition is $4,995. But if you register for both belts, you do receive a 10% discount. That tuition includes all of your course materials. You do get access to the online portal for 1 full year. We have in the past found that many of our graduates like to go back into the online portal, say about 4 or 5 months after they've graduated, because they find themselves in a green or black belt project and they want a refresher in a particular area. So we do give you access for a full year. And then, of course, the certification exam and your certificate of completion. Now, once you do receive your certificate of completion, you do hold that for life. There aren't any recertification exams or ongoing continuing education units that you need. So if you receive your green or black belt certification, you'll have that on your resume for life. All right, at this point, we have some information about payment options, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the webinar back over to Michelle Hamer, and she'll talk about those payment options, how to enroll, and then what to expect after the webinar is over. So Michelle, did you want to go ahead and take it away?
Thank you, Jennifer. As you can see on the screen, we have a couple different payment options. If you visit our website, you'll see where there's a button that you can click or a link that says enrollment and financing. And when you click on that, you will see your options for paying with a credit card. You can, if you're going to pay online with a credit card, it will bring you to an online payment center where you can enter your credit card and register online. And if you choose to pay with a personal check, you'll have the option to be invoiced when you actually enroll through that same system. We do require, once you receive that invoice, for you to contact the office, the registration office, or to send in the information within a calendar week of when you actually apply. That will give us plenty of time to get your enrollment processed and make sure that everything goes through and we can get you your orientation information in time. We also have options for helping to finance your education as well. One of those is we have a relationship with Sallie Mae, and we have a Sallie Mae Smart Options low interest loan. And as you, let's see, we just went through the enrollment information. Also on our website you will see the link for the Sallie Mae loan, and you should go through that link because it's set up specifically for James Madison University, and you will receive your approval or disapproval for the loan within 30 minutes after you've completed the application. It does check your credit score, and you may be asked to have a co-signer should you fall short of your individual credit score. So you might want to keep in mind that if you do want to follow through with the Sallie Mae process, to have a co-signer in mind. Another option that we like to extend to individuals interested in the program is if you have a relationship with your own financial institution. A lot of credit unions work with individuals for education loans and home, that sometimes they put it through on a personal loan, but we find that individuals who have really good relationships with their banks or credit unions have a really good chance of getting a loan through their organization. And as you see here, to enroll, you'll be asked to go into the site, into the registration system. You'll create a new account, and it's very simple. It's written out there for you. You'll register for the class and then pay by credit card online, as I mentioned before, or request to be invoiced. When you request the registration form, you'll be able to fax or mail that back with your form of payment and or your personal check. So you'll want to visit jmu6sigma.org, which is probably the same location where you registered for this information session. And if you have questions after this information session, you can reach out to me. There's my contact information on the screen. But over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours, you will receive a personal phone call from me to follow up, make sure all of your questions were answered, as well as an email with a copy of this presentation that is being recorded, as well as the course outlines for the next 2 courses that are coming up, so that you have the ability to review and jot down any questions you have, and then you can reach out to me and I'd be very happy to help you answer those questions and go through the enrollment process. And I think that's about it for me, Jennifer, so if you'd like to close.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. We do want to thank everybody for spending your lunch hour with us. Hopefully we've answered your questions about Six Sigma, if the James Madison program is the best fit for you, and if you're ready to enroll, as Michelle mentioned, she's going to be available to answer any questions that you might have. In addition to Michelle reaching out, some of you may get a phone call from myself probably towards the end of the week to make sure that we have addressed everything. But hopefully we have achieved our goal of giving you the information that you need to make an informed decision if this is James Madison is the best fit for you. We certainly hope that you feel that it is, and look forward to seeing you in one of our upcoming classes. So that being shared, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us, and we hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day.